Ladies and gentlemen, it's now the time to invite the first speaker for today. He's someone whose current role is Director of Delivery. He is leading delivery for all of financial services clients being served out of Accenture's India Delivery Center. He has led technology services delivery for world's largest financial services clients across North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific regions. He has been with Accenture India Delivery Center for more than 15 years. With a big round of applause, please help me welcome our first keynote speaker for today, Managing Director, Accenture, Mr. SHANTIPRAKASH MOTWANI.
Good morning again. It's an honor to be the first keynote speaker at PSTC 2016. You heard my introduction. My primary role is I have a delivery responsibility for all of the financial services clients we serve from Accenture India. I got one more role, which is a technology officer for, again, financial services, which largely involves for me to understand the technology trends globally, look at what we need to do to keep ready for future in terms of how our financial services clients will get impacted in future and be able to get ready for the future. So in that sense, looking at the theme for PSTC, I just put together a couple of slides. I got pulled in this last minute. I just got 2 slides. In the spirit of productivity improvement, you measure productivity in terms of the number of slides you use nowadays, and also the number of words you use on each slide. That's going to be my promise. So I'll just get started in terms of while we focus on testing as a theme, the whole technology, the pace at which technology is changing, we have never seen before. I've spent 25 years in the industry, 15 years in Accenture, and how it has evolved and made. All of you would have gone through a change in the organization. Also, what we need to do to be ready for the future. With this, you'll see a number of themes emerging. I'm sure these are not the themes you are listening or seeing for the first time. All of you would have seen this coming your way. All of these things get discussed. Almost every forum you see nowadays. I'll just take you behind some of these in terms of what is driving this. I'll actually start with, and not go in the same sequence. Some of those are some overlapping themes on what is driving what and how we are reacting with. Time to market is the big change. What is driving significant change in the industry we are in? It is a big change from what we used to see. The focus on cost, the focus on efficiency, all of that have been the levers in the past. The time to market is seen as a big change in terms of the way it is seen now. What is driving that is largely 3 themes on what has suddenly changed to get the time to market being the new currency for the world. The big change is, if you look at the way the customer expectations have changed. I mean, all of us are customers in terms of we go to banks, we take insurance, we go to retail, we go to airline industry. Our expectations have changed. From going into the banks, you expect banks to come to you through your mobile devices. The services come to you instead of you go and take the services. And you can't wait for new products, you can't wait for new services. And the pace at which these services comes, even they ask for more and more. That is what is driving is a big change. I'd give an example of, let's take an example of the credit card industry. You come with a very innovative product in the past, even if you look at 2 years back, not in the past, you can come with a very innovative product from the business. The business looks as a very innovative product, goes to IT, you do analyze, design, build. It takes few years in the past, come down to 1 year, come down to maybe 9 months. It used to work maybe 2 years back. It no longer works now. By the time you go to the market after 9 months, nobody needs that product nowadays. The world has moved in 9 months far more than it used to move 2 years back, even if you look at last year. So that is what is building the pressure of time to market. It is not the artificial pressure the people are building up. It is a real business pressure. What is driving the time to market being the big currency? You can spend more money slightly to get to that point, but absolutely no compromise on time to market. And then you will see the trend continues to be there in the near future. What is other changes driving this is the way businesses used to work. The competitive pressure on the businesses has never been that before. The only innovative firm survives. If you're not innovating, you may not be in business tomorrow. All of you have seen what has happened to some of the companies who have not been innovative enough, and the firms like Google of the world, how they have taken the business model to the next level. And if you're not, it's as good as if you are not disruptive enough, get disrupted. You may not be in the business tomorrow, or you. So that is real fear of people being left behind. That is, you have to continue to go to market every few months. Every few months, you have to hit the innovative products in the market. That is building a lot of real pressure behind the firm. The third thing which is driving that change is the business has no more boundaries. The earlier you are into that business, you know your competition well. You know this is my competition, you can play around, you can have a strategy to outpace the known competition. In today's market, who your competitor is tomorrow is not known. You could be facing a competition from completely niche player who you didn't even know till today. So that is what is actually driving a lot of these changes you see on this. Let it be time to market, let it be Agile and DevOps. We keep on talking every day nowadays. It is not new. We've been using Agile for more than a decade. What has suddenly make it so top of mind over the last few months, I would say, is again primarily driven by the time to market pressure. Earlier it was more of an IT imperative to drive efficiency in the life cycle. It is business imperative now. Earlier it was actually hard for getting business into that whole Agile journey. The business was the outsider. Now business is the center of the Agile journey. They want to go to the product every 2 months, 3 months. They can't be sitting outside. That is what is making Agile and DevOps is such a big thing for us. And how it is shaping testing. Earlier, you do all the life cycle, and testing becomes as a final gate for you to go to the market. It has become a central theme of how do I continue to build which works, because I can go to market next week after 2 weeks. That is completely changing the face of testing and what you call as a quality engineering, in terms of how do you take testing it's not at the end of the life cycle, it is pretty much part of the life cycle. That is going to significantly change the way we used to do tests, because you need to certify product almost every week. You can't be having a month of cycles of testing and certify it. That's going to significantly change the way we see testing in future. The other thing I'll see from the effort elimination part of it. We've been driving efficiency for years. There was not a single year where you don't get challenged by client, I want to get 5%, 10% improvement. We've gone beyond that paradigm of incremental efficiency improvement. What is driving that? Again, the IT spend reduces every year. Global economy, geopolitical pressures, whatever influences, you will continue to see that trend. It is never going to be, you will see IT spend going up. It will continue to be that pressure. The second thing what is influencing is in terms of what we'll see is, while we have been able to achieve efficiency over a period of time, you keep on reducing cost. You reduce efficiency in terms of productivity per hour. You keep on reducing hours that used to take 100 hours, takes 95 hours, take 90 hours. So that's the paradigm shift in terms of what you keep on doing, optimizing year on year. There has been a constant change in terms of the cost per hour. You have leveraged the low cost countries to the extent the labor arbitrage has been in the past, most of the clients have been using these models for years now. It's no longer a new game for any of our clients to significantly shift their cost model by just using the distributed model for them. The huge pressure on, instead of moving hours, reducing from hours per unit of work, it's a game in terms of how do I eliminate effort altogether. It's to the extreme of 30%, 40% effort elimination from my life cycle. That's a big game. That's what you see, the robotic process automation coming. How do I move effort from humans to machines? It's a reality now. We see number of clients already taking on this journey head on. How do I reduce, it's not a cost per hour anymore. How do I take hours off the whole life cycle? You will see an extent of 20-30% of hours going away. That's a big mindset shift in terms of how you want to achieve it. How do you get there? It's going to be a combination of what be done by humans, what done by machines. But the testing is going to play a very integral role in terms of enabling that shift. It's absolutely critical for us to look at. A lot of other technology trends, I will not go through the entire trends, but significant shift in terms of how these trends are emerging, challenging us every day. You will see a lot more of artificial intelligence coming our way. Again, goes back to the RPA discussion I had, goes back in terms of how do you reduce hours, reduce of the human hours out of the mix. That is going to give you the economy of scale. That's going to give you a significant shift in your cost model, because the IT spends will continue to be under pressure. There's a lot of pressure in terms of as I said, the new strategic programs have to be funded. It's not going to be a funding coming from the outside of the pots. The same IT spend has to fund what you support today and what is going to come in the future. So that's going to be a significant shift. A lot of cloud enablement, mobility. It's going to be a realistic thing. The mobile app testing is going to be what used to be doing web testing 5-10 years back. Almost everybody of us will be involved in mobile app testing, and it's going to be, it's a different ball game from what we use. To do a web applications, who uses from where the application is served, which cloud serves what components. The testing is not within the application boundaries. You are testing beyond the application boundary. So it's not same as web testing. Mobile testing will bring a lot more challenges in terms of how do you do it. Security, for that matter, is going to be a lot more importance. Everything going on cloud, everything access through mobile. It makes the whole shift in terms of what you test, not just the functionality. You just have to test a lot beyond the functional. I'll give you an example. I use the web portal of a bank for doing my fund transfer. I've been using it for me. All of you use it. They went through a recent upgrade. My fund transfer functionality stopped working. There's some additional KYC has to be done. Without that, I cannot use my fund transfer functionality anymore. I get stuck. I have to do that fund transfer. Now that we are used to not waiting for the next day, it has to happen today. It has to happen now. I use my mobile app for the same bank. The same transaction I was trying to do, it goes through. So something is not right, and if all the channels have to be doing exactly the same thing. So that is going to shift the boundaries of testing in terms of how do we check quality as a whole for an application, not just a functionality, the access part of it, the security, the performance part of it. The mobile testing goes beyond in terms of what all you need to test to certify the application, beyond what you do for web testing. So all of these are, in a way, touching it. Crowdsourcing is going to be the future. What we call in Accenture as a liquid workforce. You would potentially be able to source different skills, because it's no longer a game of skills of today. Suddenly you need next month the skills you don't have within the organization. It takes for 3 months to hire. If you have to, all these applications are accessible from anywhere. Most of the applications deployed in cloud. I can use somebody sitting somewhere else just testing the security aspect of my app. I can just use somebody else to do performance testing for my app. It is anyway hosted somewhere else. It is not hosted in my organization. So that is going to change, and testing in general has been one step ahead in terms of moving to the models, and it is more of, obviously the fundamental principle behind independence in testing and quality engineering is, so testing is going to be the first mover, I would say, and the crowdsourcing has been as a battle for a few years, but I think it's going to become real in the next 1 or 2 years. So all of us have to be looking at these trends, look at how this impacts us in terms of this thing, and it is going to be a very, very rapid pace. What happened last year is going to be significantly faster this year and going forward. So that's going to be the reality of life for us. I'll just quickly go through in terms of what do we need to do as testing experts, what do we need to do to be ready for the future. Industry orientation is nothing new. All of us have been doing it. We are attached to a specific industry. What is changing? What is going to change is in terms of the roles, multiple roles people used to play in the past, or even in the present. You will see the roles collapsing. You will not have a functional architect, the functional designer, somebody understanding the functionality, writing the test script, somebody else executing, somebody else fixing. Given the agile and DevOps, you have to go to market every 2 months, every month. You will not see a lot of handoffs between the traditional model we used to have now. So there will be a role collapse in terms of what an individual, what functional designer can do, what developer can do, what a quality engineer can do. The lines are going to get blurred. In that case, you need to know a lot more of the functionality, the industry. If you are a retail, if you are doing quality engineering for a retail application, for a banking application, or for the airline industry, you need to know the industry. You can't just be testing for the scope of work you are responsible for. You will not be given the functionality somebody else, and you have to just pass it from execution perspective. You need to understand what is being built. You need to understand why it is being built, what are the target business users, how the business will be using these applications, and what can go wrong. And you are on point to certify that app going live tomorrow. So in that case, the whole role boundaries are going to collapse, and you have to do a lot more in a very short time frame. So that the industry and the understanding of industry is going to be a lot more critical what we have seen in the past. Next gen testing, all of you know digital. It is no longer a buzzword, but digital is going to stay. The customer experience part of it, the mobility part of it, the analytics, big data part of it, that's part of the business. That's every business is a digital business. You would not see businesses surviving behind if they're not doing digital, if they're not going digital. That is going to be there. So all of us need to understand. We can't be master for every skill. We need to understand these technology, understand how these are going to impact, the applications we are supporting. We are responsible for quality engineering, digital, agile, DevOps. These are absolutely critical part of the next gen testing. All of us need to understand how and what is changing and keep pace with the change. Intelligent automation. Automation is again not new. We have been doing it for decades. We have been using QTB scripts for many, many years. It is going to be automation, not just in terms of, as I said, it is no longer a game of providing incremental efficiency gain. It is not how can I reduce 5%, 10% of my effort. It is a lot beyond that. It is a game of how can I be using automation more intelligently on taking away complete cycle of significant chunk of what can I test. You've seen orthogonal array and hexawise testing. What do I test? How much I've tested so that I provide maximum coverage in the shortest possible time frame. As I said, we never have a luxury of 2 months, 3 months testing anymore. How do I do more intelligence? How do I do? You see a lot more testing tools. You could be QTB, you are the king. A few years back, the testing automation tools would change every quarter, I would say, if not month. You will continue to see how these tools are evolving. The tools like Accenture, I see the scriptless automation, absolutely critical. The automation, in a way, the way I look at it is, you can keep on automating, your functionality keeps on evolving. Automation, at the end of the day, you are producing more software, which needs to be maintained. Every software you produce in the world, you can keep on calling artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will have the millions and millions lines of code to be added, which needs to be tested. How do you test it? How do you test beyond the teams which have never been tested? Artificial intelligence testing, we have never done that. Are the cognitive agents are learning based on the training we are providing it? How do you test it? So there are no known model of testing where the intelligent ways of testing, intelligent way of using the available tools, keeping pace with tools in the markets, keeping pace with what tools are more relevant for my scope of work. Every tool is not fit for purpose for everything in the world. So that is a critical aspect of your role in the testing professional in terms of how do I know the automation change in landscape, what makes more sense for me, and I use my intelligence while all the repetitive activities can be done by machines. We have a lot more intelligence with us to focus on that. That's on intelligent automation. What I call quality attributes testing, and you will hear Mahesh from Accenture, he leads our testing practice, is going to talk more about this tomorrow. What we call as quality attributes testing is all of us understand non-functional testing. Again, nothing new. It has been there for years. We used to do performance testing, we used to do security testing, but the way they become central part of, given all the cloud enablement, given the APIs based application, given components built from different vendors, put it together and an application as a whole, so that nobody is building application as a whole, everybody is building components. From that perspective, these testing going to be a lot more prominent. The security is going to be absolutely critical. Blockchains of the world are going to shake the paradigms. The security is going to be prominent, and it's almost same as functional testing, I would say. Earlier, do the whole of functional testing, oh, by the way, 2 weeks of performance testing as well, to say we have done performance testing. It is no longer, okay, by the way, you do performance and security testing. It could potentially be other way around. Is the application secure? Is the application performing? Is it 24/7? Can I make it available, highly available every day? Because people use 24/7 now. So using what we call as a holistic attributes, functional is one attribute of quality. It's not the whole. And the other things are not periphery. It's the entire paradigm of all quality attributes have to match for me to call an application fit to go live. So all the non-functional aspects of the apps are going to become a lot more critical for that. So we need to be looking at a lot more shift in terms of how do we do application being secure, application being highly performant, application being highly available. How do the applications behave in terms of different scenarios? The scenarios the way we use app in the past are completely different from the way we do in the future. I'm doing a payment transaction, I'm buying something online, I enter the elevator, the signal goes away, I come out of the elevator, signal comes back, how the application behaves. With the web applications, all of those were given. You have the connectivity, these things don't work, you move from 2G to 3G, you are driving and doing some transaction, you are driving and doing some online shopping. These are going to be a different ways of looking at how do you test. There's going to be a lot more shift in terms of what you need to test is going to be a lot evolving. In that case, the holistic way of quality attributes testing is going to become a lot more future for us in immediate future. The last one on the list, continuous learning, absolutely critical for all of us, changing every day, changing with, doesn't matter what you do as a day job. We need to keep pace with what is changing in industry. We need to keep pace what is changing around us. We need to continue to learn ourselves. That's going to be absolutely critical for us in the future. Quickly, my summary. We used to have what called II cycle from improvising, adopting, innovative. This cycle is not new. We have been doing it for years. Adopting, changing every time. It used to be a much bigger cycle. Maybe at the end of the year, we reflect what we need to change it is going to be almost every few weeks. You need to innovate, you need to adopt, you need to think what I did in the last sprint, can I do things differently in this sprint? What worked well in the last sprint, and can I do something in this sprint? So it's no longer a big cycle. What I see this is it's kind of multiple smaller cycles of IAI, which is going to be absolutely critical for us to be operating in the way we operate. It is absolutely critical for us. And lastly, coexistence between machine and human is going to be a reality. You will have a lot of people, the team of 10, there are 3 machines and 7 humans. That's get used to that model. The 7 humans may be sitting in different places in the world. That's the going to model collaboration between different teams, collaboration within your team, collaboration with the development team, collaboration with business is going to be absolutely a critical element of you as a quality engineer sitting in the center, making the whole thing happen for the world. That is my quick snapshot on what we need to do. Thank you for listening. Good luck to all of you. For the fast changing world, it is an exciting time to be the part of the quality team. Good luck. Thank you.
May I request Ms. Vasant Priya, Head BFS Assurance Canada, TCS, and Step-in EC member, Pune chapter, to come on stage to felicitate Mr. SHANTIPRAKASH MOTWANI.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Shanti. I'll make it crisp. As you said, productivity we have to maintain. And just to give a crisp of what has been spoken, we heard you in terms of saying business is changing and changing rapidly, and thereby we have to ensure the quality too. And he quoted the example of banking, retail, and other industries. He also mentioned about the delivery model changing, aligning to the business, agile and DevOps. He also spoke about the technology and tools changing. He mentioned about the cloud, scriptless automation, and a lot more. And last, he did mention we all, quality professionals, have to keep up with the rapid changes to the business, delivery models, and tools and technology. The last but not the least, stay relevant, happy learning, happy continuous learning was his message. I call upon Sundar to hand over the memento to Shanti.
Thank you, Ms. Vasant Priya. Thank you, Mr. SHANTIPRAKASH MOTWANI, and thank you, Mr. Sundar Ganesh.